And we are live Wednesday night with those guys, and Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
those guys. What's up, everyone?
Hello,
So
hello.
everyone. Welcome to Wednesday night with those guys. It is Hump Day, and how's everyone on the panel doing tonight?
I'm good. It's raining.
And we are live Wednesday night with those guys.
Somebody's not muted.
Yeah, that went loud.
Mute the stream. I'm actually good. It's raining out. I'm waiting. Wifey will be home in about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, it started.
It was 60 degrees today.
It didn't feel like it.
Yeah, it was 60 degrees today.
Hey, Daryl Hickman, Fly Zone Drone Quadcopters, Welsh Robert C. When the weather gets better, man, we got to get together so I can show you how to use those filters on that Mavic, man, and get to see how you progress with your FPV DJI.
He got one.
What's up, everyone? What's it? Fly Zone Drone Quadcopter?
Yeah, everything's good. Recovery One, how are you?
Recovery One, what's up, man? Oh, is that Welsh Rob up there?
Yep, Welsh Rob is there.
I was over in the studio, but I bounced over into the live chat, seen him.
Yeah. Well,
so what's going on with you guys so far the week?
All good, man. The weather got like a little sketchy, right? Like it started raining, it's getting a little cold again.
Yeah.
We still in that bipolar weather stage. You know, like one day is hot, and the next day is freezing. Like I always gotta pack a jacket.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave.
This is that time for like the next couple of months. It'll be like that.
This is when you say Mother Nature's bipolar.
Yeah.
Really like break seriously when June. I always feel when June comes, it's really at that point.
Michael Blade,
solid.
Eddie Nunez.
Yes. Eddie. What's good, Eddie? David.
Desmond Donders, Little Llama Laura. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Happy Hump Day, everyone.
Hey, David. What's up?
You know, I don't know if you guys play video games or anything on your phone or anything like that, but they say now that I saw this article March 25th that Final Fantasy is now supposed to be on the on iOS device, so you can play on your iPhone or iPad, but you know it's also available in the Google Play. So
they've expanded it.
Yeah, because you know they claim it's one of the most world famous games, Final Fantasy.
Well, I played Final Fantasy back when they had 3. I played 3 and 6. That was it. And I got to demo 8, but I think what are they up to 50 now? No, I'm just joking.
Actually,
they're up to like 15. They're up to like what are they up to?
It's 8 remastered.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. I never really played the game, so I don't know. Hey, Blind Neil, what's up, man?
Classic Blind Neil, everyone. How's everyone doing in the chat there?
Hey, Neil.
I hope the weather's nicer than it is here in New York City.
The weather's not so bad. It was 60 degrees today.
I see some parts of Canada still getting snow. I saw Roger got
snow, right?
Yeah, Roger got snow the other day.
Listen, I fear the fact. I was telling Herman that there's a very good possibility that within a year to 2 years, my wife and I will be moving out of here. And she grew up in this house. And the best place economically, now her objective is to buy a house for us to live in and then buy a house to rent out. And economically, right now, Utica, New York, you could do that. You know, you can get a 3-bedroom, 2-story or 1-story house up in Utica, starting at about $70,000. You try to get a 3-bedroom house in New York City, and they're talking $500,000 to $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, so starting at $350,000. JSK, what's up? Rod Picker Drones UK, how are you? Everyone's coming in. We appreciate this. Thanks for joining us on Hump Day. For those of you that are still Wednesday,
what was it? I'm going to say more than 5-6 years ago. Guy, they were asking over here like 7.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
So
this house,
right now,
what is it now?
I can only imagine now.
Probably 8 or 9, maybe even a mil, because this house here just went recently from 430,000 to 500 to 500,000. So that's expensive. That is real expensive.
New York City's like that. I have a friend that
Everyone,
bought an empty
Brooklyn.
Well, you want to buy something out here? Recovery.
If you're looking for a house in New York, bring your checkbook.
Well, Mill Basin for the houses been going for $1 million. Over on the other side, over on the other side of Flatbush, those homes over there, before you go into I don't even know what section that is over there.
Blind Neil says
Kensington, those houses are always over $1 million.
I could believe it. Hey, Michael McReynolds, how are you? And Blind Neil says it's 21 degrees Fahrenheit, -6.
Michael Reynolds, what's good, man? You talking about keeping 2 cars off the street? You know what I mean? In New York City?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna pay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then even if you have a driveway, you have to worry about someone parking in your driveway. But we don't play that around on my block. You park in someone's driveway, your ass is getting towed.
Well, Lawrence, have you ever heard of roof complexity?
Who?
Roof complexity.
No.
Well, if you buy a home and you're interested in doing solar panels with Tesla, you got to worry about roof complexity. Because the price of their solar panels, they're saying for was a quote for a roof of about almost 400 square foot for was it 12.3 kW solar roof system?
Yeah.
Was $54,966. Now the same system is going somewhere in between 79, 93.8 and 100,006 and 100,006.
From 40 something thousand to 100,000.
Yeah, from like 50 something, going up. So you're talking about roof complexity, and what I mean by roof complexity is that if your roof is flat, you get the cheap price. The more your roof starts to slope, the more the complexity of the insulation.
Hey, Brant Ariels, that doesn't make any damn sense.
Well, I mean, that's I'm not Tesla.
Is Gary in the chat? Oh, Gary's in the chat.
Hey, Tom, how's it going?
What's up, Herman? Stevie, Lawrence, how are you?
Hey,
What's
Tom.
up?
What's up, brother?
What's up, Tom? How's it going?
I
see you pushing out them beats there, Tom. With the engineers.
Keeping the studio alive.
I hear you. In New York, he's a fireman, and on vacation, he's a beat maker and producer.
He's a producer.
Yeah.
Everything but.
I need those tracks, man. I got some videos coming out on YouTube.
No problem. Yeah. As long as you're paying the licensing fee, I got the tracks, bro.
We'll talk behind the scenes, you know.
Recovery One says, how many panels is that? Because he has 32 on his roof. That's a decent.
You got that article, Lawrence?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm sorry, man, but I have everything else loaded, but I don't have that article.
Not the roof one.
Those guys, I stopped by to show my support on your channel. Smash that like button. We appreciate it, Michael McReynolds.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
No, I just saw the article in passing. I was just reading through it. I was like, roof complexity. I'm like, oh, okay, I got you.
Producing 1K kilowatts per month. Okay, so are you paying back into the energy grid? Are you giving back into the energy grid by now? And what is your projected turnover with solar power? Because I do remember at one time when they offered solar power, and this was a few years back, more than 5 years back. If you had solar power, they said you could make your money back for that solar power system on your roof and in your house in 3 to 5 years. Now with the battery technology changing, and that was the issue back then. Batteries weren't doing too well. They couldn't hold power too long, etc. And now with the battery systems that they have, within 6 months to a year, you can make back your money you invested in your house.
Okay.
And start feeding electricity back onto the grid. Now, how does that go, Tom? Do they pay you for that, or?
They're actually required to. Basically, what happens is, and it depends on the system you have, right?
Okay.
So there are systems out there now where you store your energy, okay, and you only burn energy from the power companies on off-peak times.
Okay.
So during the daytime hours, you're producing energy through your solar panels. At night, though, energy is much cheaper.
Right.
So if you're going to top off your batteries from the grid, you'll do that at night. There's no regulation that prevents that currently, except in the state of Texas. Go figure.
I got you.
Okay.
Because basically what happens here is you are amortizing your electric cost. And the power companies have to buy back any excess energy you're willing to sell them back. Okay. Now, if you have storage capability, you don't have to sell them back energy, but then again,
they pay you back at the wholesale price, which kind of sucks.
Yes, they pay you at the wholesale price. That's 100% correct.
Okay.
But if you want to know like what my savings are in the Southwest of the US, right? Basically the average panel cost for a setup is going to cost around $11,000
per panel.
No. I'm talking about my panel layout cost. So now if you figure I'm getting tax incentives on that and all, your average 25-year savings on that would be around $32,000. So your average payback period is anywhere between 7.5 and 9 years. We'll say.
Yeah, because Recovery One Drone says they give you credits back on your billing. Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, you also get their tax incentives, right?
Yeah.
So
tax
if you itemize your taxes, there are incentives. It's very similar, and I believe also now with certain tax changes, you don't actually need to itemize. But if you're a homeowner, you're going to itemize. Just like if you buy an electric vehicle, there are some tax incentives associated. Tax incentives, not a write-off. Tax incentives.
Well, it used
to
be
unless they're going to write me a check to buy something. Okay, buy that electric vehicle. Right. It's an incentive.
It's an incentive.
Okay?
Yeah.
You see a Recovery One put. My parents are the one of those that are getting more back than using year round. Pops is loving it. Hey, Eden Valley Drones UK, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
You know, it's something about us old folk, man. We just love pinching that pen, man.
Well,
okay.
One time,
if we can get Lincoln to scream, then we're doing something right.
There was actually an incentive if your car was stick shift at one time. I don't know if that still applies.
Dude, I don't know about that.
It used to be. It used to. Well, I remember this back in the late 90s.
On the insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not anymore.
It's not much.
Not anymore.
Dude, that was the original. See, here's what I don't understand, right? Flashback. That was the original distracted driving. Okay. I remember futzing with a 3-speed on the column and fighting it because, that first clutch I ever had, I thought was a footrest. So, I wore out that pressure plate in like no time, right? First time you're on a motorcycle, no, that's not where you rest your foot. The thing is, you're struggling to shift the vehicle, man. That's worse than talking on a cell phone.
You know what? I paid more attention to the road when I drove stick shift than.
Well, I paid more attention when it was more than a few gears on the stick that I had to worry about, right? I mean, when you had to start double clutching and everything else, you better know what you're doing.
traffic was terrible. I remember driving my Mustang into the city. It's terrible. I hate it.
Oh yeah. Look, sticks were never built for bumper to bumper traffic.
Yeah, that
right?
I agree.
Oh man.
That's why I don't see how truck drivers do it.
I actually,
because I learned in the city, and the guy that showed me put me on hills and all kind of stuff like that.
Does anybody remember? And look, you don't have to remember. You just have to appease me for a second. Okay. Does anybody remember the Volkswagen Beetle with like a semi-automatic clutch? Okay. And what it actually was when you rested your hand on the stick, the car would drop into neutral. Okay.
Oh, get out of here.
And the problem with that was I had to pick up a buddy's car. He left for a cruise, not a pleasure cruise, by the way, a naval cruise from Embarcadero in San Francisco. And
Grant Ariel says 3 on the tree, Tom.
3 on the tree, man. And we had an overdrive. You'd pull out from the dash. But he asked me, do me a favor, pick up my car at the marine lot, at the pier, because he was going on what's called the Westpac cruise for 8 months. And he said, do me a favor, bring it back by the apartment complex. We had lived in Pittsburgh, California, outside of Concord, which was a short drive into Frisco. And so I went and I picked up the car and it's a Volkswagen Beetle. Okay, yeah, stick, I can drive a stick. But every time, I'm driving, where do you rest your hand? I'd always rest my hand on the stick. And then the car would shift out of gear. I'm like, what the hell? And if you know anything about San Francisco, there isn't a level road anywhere in all of San Francisco. Okay.
That's what they do.
So imagine me and this Volkswagen Beetle sitting at a traffic light. All of a sudden, it goes into neutral. Okay.
Okay.
And you got a little bit of that roll. So, and if you hit anything, you're going to have all the damage. Okay. But that was a unique experience.
So Stevie, welcome back from Florida.
Yes, Stevie. You worked that whole panhandle.
He did the whole circuit down there.
Did everything.
Tour and shit.
What did you hit down there?
Oh man,
shopping down there.
I was telling Lawrence and Herman that the weather dropped around the time of the meetup. It was like 90 degrees the day before, and the day of the meetup is like 60. So the plan was to do the meetup, right? The next day, Universal Studios, I checked in with you guys. We were live, right? The day after that, we were supposed to go to Daytona Beach. But Daytona Beach was 65 degrees. We wasn't going to no Daytona Beach at 65 degrees.
Go drive on the beach, bro.
So what I did was the night before, we got another room in Miami, and we bailed from Orlando. Now, the purpose of Orlando, instead of near Sebastian, was, the meetup was one day, but I wanted to see my family. I got family in Orlando. We got friends in Orlando. We got friends that moved from New York in Orlando. So, I was able to balance it all out, hang out with the guys, see family, and then do something with the family. So we bailed from Orlando.
What's up, Ray?
And went to Miami to chase the sunshine. It was like almost 80 degrees. The same day, it was 67 in Daytona. So we drove 3 hours in the night, got the new room, and just spent the time in Miami and enjoyed the beach.
The Ford Contour.
And then when we were done with all the beach stuff and everything, and we got it all out of system, we went back to Orlando. So that's how that worked out. But the meetup was great. It was great to, a lot of these people I've spoken to before through social media, YouTube, whatever. And it was great to put, just to meet them in person. I knew what them looked like, but just to see them in person and actually have that conversation, so it all worked out. It was really good. It was really good. And I came back with all 4 legs.
All right.
And none of them are dangling. But I meant to send Lawrence, maybe the next show. I sent Lawrence a video clip. Ken Dono took us to a spot to fly FPV, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And we went to some schoolyard, and Doc Murdoch and I almost collided. And I have the footage. I got to send it to Lawrence so he can show it. But yeah, Yeah, we were
Those
just,
are the interesting ones when you see someone whoosh by you.
yeah, it's crazy because if you've been in New York in the New York meetups, you already know that
You see that on the regular.
but in the legit ones, people are yelling out their
altitudes.
Altitudes. Like Lawrence, the first time I even met you, I was screaming out. I was up on the little grass hill by the IKEA. I was screaming out my altitude to you guys. You guys are yelling back to me. We know how to do it. It's just like
To
us, it's just like pouring the juice.
It's second nature.
It's a normal, second nature. It's just the regular flow. But when you're hanging out with FPV guys, it's totally different. It's just like, all right,
that's because
I'm going up, and everybody's giving each other a warning so that they don't knock each other out with the signals or whatever. I'm still learning about that stuff.
You go ahead.
Yeah, but you just go. Like you just
the hardest part of FPV is to keep a constant same altitude and telling the guy, "Oh, I'm at this altitude. I'm at that altitude."
Impossible, right?
No, it's not. No, it's not because
Lawrence, not when you're flying with a bunch of people.
No,
how many times, Stevie?
Huh?
How many times we would go? Hey, I'm at 200 feet at your 12.
Constantly,
okay. Except the 12 becomes 6 before you know it with an FPV.
But that's the thing with the FPV. You up and down, you over here, you over there. And, it's hard to keep track, and you're going like 60 something miles per hour on the slow end. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm doing like 70 over there, but now I'm over here. You know what I mean? So it's totally
at a totally different altitude.
Totally different.
So I'm learning. I hung out with Eddie, of course, and he was zipping with his FPV.
You guys had a great time up at Croton, man.
Yeah.
A lot of videos came out of Croton already. Look at that.
This drone is opened up.
Man. Well, is it a freaking blast or what?
This drone it's amazing.
But I had it out yesterday at Red Rock. Holy cow, man. Getting a feel for it. And just like you said, now you're moving at a minimum of 60 miles an hour.
Hey, Bill, what's going on, man?
Okay, coming over a ridge at that speed.
Well, I want to tell you guys something. You haven't encountered it yet, but the rest stop along the Belt Parkway on the eastern side of the bridge? There's a rest stop on the eastern side of the Verrazano, and there's one on the western side.
Talking about the one underneath, just off to the
right. It's the one closest towards heading towards Queens. I think it's the last big rest stop. Well, anyway, Justin and I, Justin, Mikey, and I were flying in this big place, and you would be surprised how close you come to near misses. I mean, with all that space out there, and it was just two of us. I have a video where we were we were doing a speed run along the Belt Parkway. I was going in one direction in the grass, and all of a sudden I see the thing go past me, and we were even, except he was over about 3 feet. But had we been lined up, it would have been all over.
Me and Ken almost crashed, and I was like, "Who's that?" Like I had the goggles on, and and the same story, bro. Like you and Justin, film. Like he just
thank you, Mike.
And Ken was like, "All I saw was a blip on my screen." I'm looking for. I gotta go through the footage, but the me and Doc Murdoch. I found the footage and I cut it up, and I want to put it into like a whole video, I guess, later. But I cut up just that piece,
You have to slow it down, because if you don't slow it down, nobody will see it.
60 frames. I was shooting at 60 frames, luckily, so I was able to slow it down. But then I did a freeze frame, and you see, because Doc Murdoch, he makes his own creations. He had a drone that was like a cross, like a Jesus cross. Like it wasn't like an X. You know how your drone is like an X?
Yeah.
His was like, the props were in the front and the back.
It was a crucifix.
And he almost crucified my drone. He has so many creations, and I'm telling him, like, what do you make these out of? He's like, this one is wood. I'm like, wood? Like wood, bro. He said wood. Listen.
Make it work.
It was an experience, but the guy is amazing, man. The stuff that he builds, it's out of this world. His drone.
What's up, Eddie? How are you, man? Eddie's dropping a freaking video every day.
It is.
What are you trying to do, kid?
Eddie's another one.
What are you trying to do, bro?
Who, Eddie?
Eddie.
And the guy Ray.
Eddie Neistat. I mean Nunez.
Oh, Eddie Neistat.
Okay.
He called him Eddie Neistat.
Now I get to hang
That's
out
funny.
with TV guys. But I hung out with Lawrence with my camera drone, so I can hang out with
That's what it is. They're rubbing off on you now, Stevie, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, but see now if I pull out FPV bird, you can pull out an FPV bird or whatever. But as of lately, I've been carrying a camera drone and my FPV with me because, like I said, it's good to combine both of them.
So as a public safety
But
announcement,
this DJI drone covers both ends of the aspect. I mean, you could stop and hover with
as
it.
a public safety announcement around civilians, don't say you're pulling out your bird. Okay.
Yeah.
They might take it the wrong way.
Well, we
I'm
call
just saying.
us cruisers who
That's
who don't do a lot of flipping and all of that flip stuff. Us cruisers call our drones rigs. We call
Well,
them
pulling
rigs.
out my rig, it doesn't sound well.
Sound good either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually,
Right,
I'm more nervous thinking about that. Jeez. Yeah. Eddie's the daily vlogger. Okay. Yeah.
Eddie, doing your thing.
Okay.
Hey, what's
Okay,
up,
Casey Nunez.
Casey Nunez.
Casey Nunez.
Give me a second. I have to go pay the water bill, guys.
You gotta go
I'll be
pay the water
back.
bill. All right. So we'll be here. Tom, you know me, I go through all of those little tech things. You know, I don't know if you heard about this one, but Ford stopped selling that level 2 home charger for the Mustang Mach-E. They were having a problem with it. Yeah, it's
like burning people's houses down.
No, actually, it's not a safety issue.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, it was noticing that it was registering a fault and it would just stop charging.
But what was happening was you plug yourself in and you get up the next morning to go to drive to work.
The car's dead.
Your car's dead because there was what did they finally diagnose it as?
Well, what happened is the wall box was having a problem with it, and it was first they said they first featured it it was mentioned in the automotive news, but what they're saying is that it starts to register a fault, that there's a problem and it shuts down.
Yeah, just like a GFCI, right?
So they just stopped it all together. They're not selling it. It's an $800 box.
Well, what it is, it's the rapid charge.
Right, the fast charge.
Right? It's the fast charge,
But they claim if you still have a 120 or
the 110 charger,
receptacle at your house, I guess it's possible. I don't.
Well, you know what it is? Look, it's like this. If you're using it to commute to and from work, the 110 charge is going to do it. If you're looking to, go take a 200-mile road trip, that's, it's also cycling time, right?
Right.
I mean, the 220 fast charges, you can be done in a couple of hours. With the wall charger, I think it's 9 to 11 hours. It requires. I'm not sure of the specs. I don't know what it is. Specifically on the Mustang.
Yeah, that wall box was making it faster for you to charge your car. Yeah. The problem is you would put your car on the charger, like you said, and get up in the morning to go to work, and you gotta get
and find out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I still have. I don't know. I still have a problem with a Mustang Mach-E. Still working through that. But hey, you know what? The power in an electric car is just amazing.
It is.
I mean, you put your foot down on the accelerator and it doesn't even, there is no thought process there. It's just instantaneous power. So,
Mike.
Yeah.
Well, you remember, what was it? Last week we had the videos of the volcanoes from the FPV drone.
Oh yeah.
Well, I found an article of some serious devastation in Tennessee, where they had some drone video that captured, the exact flooding. It's in Franklin, Tennessee. The video is from it was a video that I sent to Lawrence that was from
go ahead, I'm running it now.
KRN in Tennessee.
Not KRP in Cincinnati.
No.
It's funny to make fun. Yeah, just to make, have fun. But, this is some serious stuff, man. This excessive rain caused some serious flooding in this area, and it's destroyed, you know, some homes, real
Devastating.
homes. Yeah.
Devastating. I mean, that's,
You know, people
that's
lost
just
their
not a home there.
automobiles.
That's a mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are estates.
schools,
Yeah.
you know, and there was a loss, you know, 7 people lost in all of this from
Wow.
the article that I, you know, that I sent you guys. I
Flash
just thought,
flooding is not anything
Crazy.
to be joked about. I tell you, man, flash flooding is devastating.
yeah, this
This
is
stuff
serious.
comes through. Was this from the Walter Hill Dam?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
It
the
is.
Walter Hill Dam.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Area. And, you know, this just devastated that whole area. And here, again, tip your hats to UAVs for being able to get in there right away. Okay, where others can't, and quickly assess the situation
and get those shots that can't
identify what's going on, because this way the local incident commanders can make decisions based on this kind of information. Where you send your resources.
These guys are
putting them in
kayaking.
harm's way. Yep.
You know, and I guess it would make sense. Now, see, Tom, this would be a time and point where I would have to get in the water.
Why?
Because
you would have to.
You would have to get in the water because there's no other way to get around.
Lawrence, you just gotta. And Lawrence, by the way, lives in the Rockaways, people surrounded by water.
Yep.
So you know, just have those floaties always at the ready, bro. That's all.
Listen, I told you I'll snatch a water wing off a kid in a second.
I
you
know
get
you
one of those or put it above your door, Lawrence.
Yeah.
Well, see, fortunately, you guys remember we New York got hit with Sandy. Well, the block that I live on is actually 75 feet above sea level. But at the bottom of each side of the block that I live on, cars were floating by. Yeah. And I live 4 blocks from the beach.
You couldn't get off the hill.
And I live 4 blocks. No, we couldn't. 4 blocks from the beach. And there's a T section to the left of my house that goes straight down. And then there's another T section. Somehow the boardwalk made a 90-degree turn left, a 90-degree turn right, went maybe about 20 blocks, 20 blocks, one long city block under the subway, and there was boardwalk there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the water is nothing to play around with. It goes where it wants to go and stops when it's ready to stop.
You know, that's why I didn't understand why the people over in Flatlands, why they didn't just move their vehicles up to Flatlands Avenue.
Well, because there's this misconception, right? My vehicle weighs thousands of pounds, right? but keep something in mind here. A foot of water will float many vehicles. Okay, with a foot of water, 12 inches of water will float a vehicle that weighs a couple of thousand pounds. So you know, there's this misnomer that my car's safe. My car weighs a weighs a ton and a half. Well, besides that, you know, well, come on. We live in New York and we get snow. How many New Yorkers with SUVs really know how to drive their SUVs in snow? Okay.
True.
I got a high clearance vehicle.
Tom, yes, nonetheless on dry ground. You're talking snow. They can't drive on dry ground.
Yeah, I know. I happen to live, you know, not far from Lawrence, but in a completely different area of Queens where I'm on a plateau. So I'm actually where you would evacuate to. So I'm on the Maspeth Plateau. I'm in Glendale. But yeah, I you know, water is devastating.
Well, I wanted to
and here's a specific positive use for this drone technology, right? I mean,
yeah,
being able to get in there, and the insurance companies have embraced it wholeheartedly now.
Yes, they have.
This is how they're doing disaster assessments. Absolutely. I had a buddy that actually he made some very good money during the floods in Texas. He went down there, and they were paying him $1,000 a day and $1,000 a week stipend. And he was down there. He had basically a COA. The FAA will issue emergency COAs for disaster areas, and Allstate actually applied for one. And think about it. You know, if you have to assess somebody's roof, normally you got to hire 2 people because somebody has to hold the base of the ladder while somebody goes up on the ladder. And then when somebody's on the roof, there's a huge liability there. This way, you can put a drone up in a matter of minutes and probably get more competent information back, right? We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
The subjective eye, okay, the objective lens, two different elements, right? You get a lot more data out of the objective lens. So this makes sense from a humanitarian standpoint
Tyler, can you bring my phone?
and from a cost standpoint.
Of course, yeah.
Hey, Bob. Tom, when I first started flying drones,
Hey, Bob.
this was some of the first things that I've ever saw
So,
with them, with drones at work, where people were doing, not only search and rescue, but they were doing, drone, assessments of like flood areas, like this situation here, like you mentioned, roofs and stuff, like the damage. And the news started to get into it and started to use some of that footage, for the news coverage. And that was some of the first things I saw when I first bought even before I bought a drone. That was one of the things that really attracted me to it. I was like, that looks like fun. To be able to get out there and do that kind of thing.
Very good.
My head's always
and stuff that guys are doing now. That wasn't even a thought. But this search and rescue and seeing the things that drones could do, and then knowing that I could actually buy one of these things, that was what attracted me to it.
Well, you know what?
Right, they made them affordable.
Because, well, yeah. I mean, when you can mass produce something, sure. But, I always have looked at stuff and I come up through a culture on the job where you're always looking for how to apply something to what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And probably most of the tools that are used in the department, a good number of the tools used in the department were developed in the department over years of experience.
Right.
So when you see something like a drone, when we saw a drone for the first time, right away in our heads, it's like, oh, we can get places we can't normally see, So you start looking at it that way. When you talk about mapping from a public safety standpoint, you have a disaster scene. I can look how this would apply, and I wish we had it years earlier. But
I don't know.
With the domestic bombing that happened in this country, there was a rubble pile that resulted from it, and it was a search for victims, and then unfortunately, quickly turned into a search for bodies across this rubble pile. And what you would rather do is you'd rather put a drone up now and map that rubble pile and identify sectors within that rubble pile that you're going to begin your search efforts in. And being able to methodically step through that grid pattern that you've created, but now can visualize, it's a lifesaver. It's a lifesaver, right? And plus, if it can get you in there quicker to rescue and conduct a rescue instead of a salvage, all the better.
Right.
So, these are things you look at, and public safety embraces that. Public safety is, look, many people I've met in the public safety realm go by the nickname MacGyver. Okay. I've been labeled Inspector MacGyver on numerous occasions where you just come up with something and you apply it and figure out how to tweak it and use it, on the job. And that's what drones have become in the public safety sector. I mean, just like leveraging dogs in rubble piles. Okay. Now you can throw
Good night,
thermal imaging cameras above these rubble piles and look for heat signatures and things like that. In a situation like this where you have flooding, right? You can quickly identify, look at what happened down in New Orleans and during Katrina, right? Right. People on rooftops, with spelling out the words help on rooftops, right? You could get in quickly with drones, a lot quicker than you can get in with manned aviation.
When I saw
because you can deploy more of them than you can deploy in manned aviation.
What's that, Stevie?
When I saw the Tennessee floods, it reminded me of the footage from New Orleans. And I remember it was like, I believe 2 years after New Orleans, that whole flood situation happened. I went out there, I think it was All-Star Weekend. And I was going through some of the towns with some of the guys from there,
Yeah.
And they gave me like a little tour and I seen like the watermarks. I seen whole towns abandoned, but I seen watermarks like 2-3 stories high.
Wow.
On certain structures. I drove into towns that the pharmacy and everything in town was abandoned. It was like a ghost. It was like a ghost town, like what you see in the movies, like those Mad Max movies that everything's over. It's like a zombie apocalypse, something like that. That was insane.
See, Stevie, we in human nature have this thing about finding great places to live, right? Look at Mount Vesuvius, okay? All those people moved under that volcano because the soil was so rich. And then the volcano gave way. Okay, no more people. Louisiana, half of it is bayou country, right?
Yeah.
All the southern portion, right? And if you look at New Orleans, it's below sea level.
Right.
It's surrounded by levees.
They call it, that's why they call it a little bowl, because the water gets in
and
there.
Guess what happens? Well, yeah, that's what happens. The bowls fill up rather quickly.
I was.
We have situations out here where there have been flash floods in areas that have wiped out whole towns. Okay.
I was talking with Lawrence when I first saw this article, and we were talking about, and Stevie mentioned like with New Orleans, Louisiana area. They have already done studies on that whole Mississippi and the way it travels. If you look throughout a lot of this country where it passes through, I went to school in Missouri, and in Canton and down in the town, you can look up at the river.
Wow.
Certain places you see that wall. And the river is on the other side of that wall. It's up there.
Yeah, because
so
remember the Mississippi. The Mississippi brought prosperity, right? And what do people do? Move closer to it.
Right.
Right.
But you see what they know already, though, from looking and surveying land, that it's slowly eroding Louisiana, or that whole area,
the whole Delta region.
Right, that it's eventually someday it may be underwater. Maybe not now time.
Look,
but
everything takes its time, right? And nature just keeps moving along.
Hopefully they could do something to stop that. Hopefully.
Nature just keeps moving along. Well, that's what it is. It's man that gets in the way of nature.
Well, understandable. Okay. Man is there, and man now has to figure out a way.
But man has to be a lot smarter about where there is. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? If you look at
that's what it comes down to.
Look at some of those places like were devastated by some of these floods, and some of the people who suffered really bad by those floods that, like Stevie was talking, and in years past. Most of those people are not that, they're not that well off. They're in
well, that's a bigger problem. I've seen
some of those places in Missouri.
They're reliant on the Corps of Engineers. They're reliant on others. Okay, but look. Where don't you put a trailer park in Hurricane Alley? Where are there high density trailer parks? In Hurricane Alley. Why? It's not because people say, "Oh, I want a natural disaster every other year." No, it's because their social condition requires them to be there. Okay. Instead of that, what the government should do is put down some foundations. Okay. We're always looking at, okay, well, we're going to rebuild. Okay, you just rebuilt in the same area, you're going to get smacked
from a year and a half ago.
Okay. That's my whole thing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not a Florida guy. And I know there's several people in the room and, and you got a ton of family down there, Stevie. But when I was looking for that retirement mecca, Florida got checked off the list real quick because, it's a pension-friendly state. But there's a natural disaster there every 3 to 5 years.
You mean hurricane
season? Where it's coming from the Atlantic, okay? And the humidity and bugs. Stevie, I don't care if they call them love bugs or not. I'll never be enamored by them, man. They're freaking everywhere. Certain times of year, You walk out your front door, you better check your teeth right away. Okay? They're everywhere. So I like it out here. I got hummingbirds, geckos, okay, occasional scorpion, but you don't F with it. It won't F with you.
That's well thought out. You got scorpions out there?
Yeah, occasionally. And there's some rattlesnakes, and we got wild horses. Okay, but look,
wild horses, man.
We have
capture, bro.
We have wild horses out here.
To get those.
You can catch some of those shots. I'd like to see that.
Yeah,
we got wild horses. We got eagles out here. We got, you name it.
Man. I don't want you to get too close to that.
You better pull over. What's up, Ed?
Yo, Ed, what's good, man?
Love my drones is in the house. Bob Casey.
Robert.
What's up, Robert? How are you, bro?
So yeah, that's well thought out. Tom, I gotta consider that. Because I
figured
end up somewhere warm. I know,
Stevie, and now I'm going to piss off the California people.
It's an investment, Stevie.
Yeah.
But if there is a natural disaster out here, that means I probably have beachfront property now, Stevie. It's worth more. Okay.
That water
looking at it that way.
It's not going to be that bad.
He said, "Worst case."
Well, my drive to the shore will get shorter.
Well, how bad of a disaster are you talking?
Remember, the San Andreas Fault is on the other side of me. It's what separates me and California.
I understand that. You talking about the whole state being gone?
California,
dude, there are people today wishing for that to happen. Okay.
No.
You know what it is? Look, the other thing I love out here is the blue skies. So, look, it's a different world. It's a different pace, and you look for that quality of life. That's all you're doing. You're looking for the quality.
I get it.
And I figured, we'll visit the East Coast, the other 3 seasons. We can bounce out there spring, summer, and fall. But I know the relatives are going to be out here in the wintertime visiting.
Snowbird.
Yeah. So
shoot, I might come visit you a few times.
What's up, Hugh?
We're out here, bro.
Salute, Ed.
You see those pictures Tom is sharing on Facebook?
Things you find in the desert.
Work in California and retire in Utah, Texas, Arizona, or Idaho. Okay.
Idaho?
I would burn so many batteries. The
well,
stuff you find out there in the desert, bro. The stuff.
Look, I'm sorry. I can't get my porn in Utah. So. No, but look, Utah has the highest density national parks in the country. An amazing state. Okay. And even when you're driving through that state, even when you're not near the national parks, just the vista is gorgeous. The drives out here are just amazing. And the other thing is, if I have to go 30 miles, it's probably going to take me 25 minutes to get there. Unlike New York, if I have to go 30 miles, that's probably a 2-hour trip. Okay.
Yeah.
And probably about $20 in tolls by the time I'm done.
Hey, Hugh.
Hugh says he did his first acro yesterday.
Okay.
Salute to you, man.
There you go.
I had a sound effects button, but I'm restructuring.
Do you think
did
FPV
where is
natural course of things? Like
where's Brooklyn drones?
Camera drones.
Brooklyn drone boy.
What happened?
Is that the natural course of things, going right into FPV after camera drones?
It seems like it's the latest rage now.
Because of DJI and that never-ending quest to get shots you can't get with a camera drone. It's starting to become a pattern. I'm starting to see it because I do see people who have been flying camera drones like I started out flying camera drones, and they're getting on simulators and they're learning that you can't get that look-down view at 50 miles an hour like you can with FPV. You can't, with you guys having DJI, you can't go from 0 to 60 and then just come to a dead stop and look down. You understand what I'm saying? These are things that you could not do. Like, I'm pretty good at throttle control. Eddie Nunez will tell you, if you see his videos, he's always talking about practicing lines and throttle control. Well, everybody was saying, Lawrence, novice quads, why don't you learn some tricks? Okay, tricks will come. But the most important, the hardest thing to do with an FPV drone is hover. And I can hover.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can actually hover, moving give or take 6 inches to a foot, but I can hover. Whereas before, when I first started, hovering was really, really hard to do. But I can come to a dead stop and hover and actually circle you at whatever speed I want. And these are things that I learned by learning throttle control.
Yeah, throttle control.
You know,
Eddie brought that up.
Jose, you know Jose, who takes pictures of Statue of Liberty. Him, John, all of them are like, "Yo, you're playing around with the water. You're too close to the water." Trust me, I know already.
Best shots are low to the ground.
I know already, but nothing looks nicer than cruising off the ground. And you, Tom, and you, Stevie, will find out. 3 feet off the ground at 60 miles per hour is such a fucking rush. I'm serious. There's no other way to describe it. And
that's
anyone
what I've been
flying
doing with
FPV,
this.
Ed will tell you. Ed will tell you. Anyone who flies FPV, Night Train will tell you. 3 feet off the ground isn't easy to maintain, especially if the ground is rising and lowering at different
But Stevie,
points.
do you realize on that DJI FPV, you do have a ground sensor. It's telling you.
Yeah.
So
and
it should be
what?
even
It's actually
easier
telling
for you
you.
guys.
So it's not even from your takeoff location. It's giving you what it's perceiving as. But you know what drives me crazy, Stevie, is when it warns me about things that aren't there.
Yes, I was talking about
Okay.
Shadows.
Yeah.
Shadows.
No, yeah. Well,
I think it might be the sun because I know
shadow.
clear sky. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to figure out now because I got nothing but big sun out here, right?
Mhm.
And yeah,
Picking up
it's
shadows.
basically I'm picking it up everywhere. So, but you know what the thing
Put
is?
terrain mode on that.
Well, no, see, you don't have to worry about it unless you're in normal mode. If you're in normal mode, it'll stop you. But in any other mode, it's just a nag. That's all it is.
Here's a quick question before Herman gets to the next story for you FPV DJI guys. Can you, like with the camera drones, like with Phantoms, can you adjust that sensor sensitivity? Does anyone know that? I've been interested to know.
As far as
on that,
sensors,
no, on the Phantoms you can.
No.
No, I know
what
on
you
the
can
camera
adjust-
drones you can.
No, what you can adjust is just things like your sensor sensitivity, your max
Hey,
gain,
Matt.
your yaw. Those are the things you can set. And those are the things that are worth setting because when you fly this thing out of the box, it's like a little brick. But when you start to tune it, boy, does it get sweet.
Yeah, I just started.
Okay.
Mine.
And you know what? It even gets sweeter, Stevie. I mean, if you're looking for truly cinematic, I did a run yesterday. And by the way, Lawrence, I did post. Okay. So I did post some footy for you the other day from my first run in off the side in Red Rock. But this I was inside Red Rock doing some nice runs. And it is, you know what?
Sparky.
She moves like a little bandit, man. It's sweet. And once you tune that in, you're getting now she's a lot smoother. But I'll tell you, in sports mode, okay, with high angle roll, with the motion controller, unbelievable, Stevie. Because you're just feeling it now.
Well, Billy,
when you're coming down over the ridge, I'm sitting there, I'm sitting on a tailgate of a pickup, and my wife is laughing because, when I'm getting close to things, I'm lifting up my feet.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna drag them remote. But man, it's just I'm just sitting there and I'm just like
I wasn't into the motion controller. I saw it and I didn't put it in the cart, but I met up with Eddie and Billy, and Billy just pulled out that motion controller, and he just started doing like a little demo, like almost like he had a few to sell there, because he sold it to me. Because he just came out, he's like, "Yo, Steve, check
hey, fly girl."
He's like this, and the drone is reacting to everything he's doing, and then he just flip of his wrist, and he just pressed the button, and that drone took off like a rocket.
Took off, baby.
Into the sky. And I'm like, but not only that, we're talking, right? And he has the goggles on, he's talking, and he just flies by all of us.
Yeah.
Like does a dive towards the dam, and then he starts coasting low by the water. like he's like Lawrence was saying, like 3 feet from the water. Maybe he was 2 feet from the water.
Yeah.
Full speed with the motion. Man, that was
with a motion control.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
He should have made a video of that, and I swear
It feels so intuitive.
of
Like, you know, the bigger problem, right, is now your FPV, you gotta, you know, your coordinated turns make all the difference in your footage, right?
Right.
And to work those sticks, man, this is just so intuitive.
You know, Billy had it for a while, so he had some time. But
yeah, I've been playing. I burn at least 2 or 3 batteries per run. I now, of course, own 5 batteries. You knew that was happening. Okay. But every time I go out, usually half those batteries I'm burning with the motion controller. And every time I burn another battery with the motion controller, I just love it a little more.
Yeah.
As far as cinematic goes, it to me, it's a winner. But it is funny, man. Like I said, sitting on the tailgate, lifting my legs. You know, my wife hears the beep, 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 beep from the senses. And then the next thing she knows, I'm lifting up my legs like I'm going to hit the ridge. But boy, is it nice to fly low and with that stick. You just, it takes a little time, but she did have a tantrum on me yesterday landing. Okay. Because, the nice thing about the DJI FPV is you can pick up the goggles and land. Okay. But it's a mistake if you do that with the motion controller. Because without the goggles on, you're not going to know you have, in order to take off with the motion controller, you have to put the dot inside the target. So it knows that you're in the right orientation.
Okay.
And actually, when you land, if you hit the button to land and you're not in that target, she'll just hover there. And I'm going, when the hell is she going to come home?
You got to keep the goggle on.
I had to put the goggles back down. Yeah, I had to put the goggles back down and then recenter it, and boom, she landed right away. So it wasn't her, it was me not knowing how to treat her.
Okay.
Hey, Matt, I see Matt is in the chat. Appreciate everything.
Matt.
You did, Florida. He made sure that I had the information, everything. Ray Kelly kept inviting me, but he was like, there's a thing on the Facebook. You can see the information, like the exact location, but Matt made sure I got the right location because they moved the location. So thanks,
Night Train, they've delivered your stuff to the wrong place. I hate that, bro.
Oh
no, that was Drone Shots was saying they delivered it and he had to go get it. And I was telling him, fortunately, you got it. But Night Train was saying that he has his stuff signature only, which is actually very smart. But the actual mail person that we have, the UPS guy, those two I know personally. Not like, hey, what's up? Let's go have a beer. But over the years, you develop a relationship with them. So the mail lady, I know if I'm expecting a package, she doesn't get to my house until 3 o'clock, 3:30. But I know at 10 a.m., she's a block and a half away from me. So I go out of my way to go to the store, get a beer or something. And just as she's pulling up, I'm like, you want me to lighten your package some? And she'll go in the back and dig my stuff out of the truck. And I'll get my stuff at 10 in the morning.
I give you the neighbor stuff too to take down the block with you.
Well, no, I actually tried.
Send you on the route, put you on the route with a little paper, a bunch of boxes.
Yeah, but if you don't get a pension out of it, I wouldn't go anywhere.
Listen, my FedEx and my UPS guy, they love me here. They love me because when the pandemic hit New York the hardest, when they used to come, I used to hit them off because they were still working. And I appreciated every package because I probably wouldn't have done it. You know what I'm saying? So now they love me because I was always, if I caught them outside, I would hit them off, throw some money at
it's good. It's good to think about them holiday time. Also.
Yeah, but now I was hitting them up. So now when they see me, forget it. They'll stand by my packages till I open the door or something.
Well, we take care of the guy around here too.
Yeah, you got it.
Stevie,
but I'd have to stop in your neighborhood, Herman.
Well, it's not the mail carrier, the UPS guy. It's the people they work for.
Yeah.
You know what, Steve? When I first ordered my Phantom 4 Pro, and I had bought the whole kit in the box, everything, filters, everything coming one time, extra batteries, everything. I told the UPS guy about it, and I saw his truck parked down the street when I was leaving to go out.
Yeah.
And I went down there and he saw me, he goes, yo, I got that box that you were telling me was coming. He goes, you want it now or you want it later when I get down there? I said, I'll take it now.
Of
Yeah, I
course.
blew the rest of the day off.
What kind of
with
question
this
is
box?
that? You want it now or you want it later?
All right,
That's
what's
like, give
this
it to me
next,
now. But
this next story coming up?
well, check it out. We're talking about drones at work, right? The Milwaukee Sheriff's Department has pitched an idea of a new drone unit to the public in an effort to communicate how they intend to use the public safety technology. The department's planning to use the what do you call it? The Mavic 2 Enterprise.
Mavic 2, yes.
With the thermal cameras and the speaker setup attachment to it to I guess be able to speak to people in the public or tell an assailant to freeze whenever they need to. But last week the Sheriff's Department pitched the whole idea to the public in an open forum. It was it was a good thing for the program to let people understand just how the drone and how why they need it and how this is a must for the community. The police department was saying that they plan to use the drone to be able to track, like I said, suspects that are fleeing from a safe distance and to get a better assessment, on the situation awareness of accident scenes.
Yeah.
That, it basically was their pitch. They had a whole video and then that they had where they brought it to the public. I don't know if
they got
I
in front
have,
of,
I actually do have it, the video. So
they got in
Go
front
ahead.
of they got in front of the privacy issue here. Okay?
Right.
Which was a good one with the public, and it's the right way to proceed, especially in the law enforcement realm.
well, this is how they actually presented it to the town, and they actually showed the town that, look, an assailant that they're chasing will tend to slow down and relax if he doesn't hear police cars behind him. So if he doesn't hear police cars behind him, there's a very good chance that there's a drone following you and you don't have a freaking clue. So they have done this successfully from what the story says that Herman's talking about, and they're requesting more units.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get more units.
Yeah, so they had a presentation that they showed the town. You could use it for search and rescue, and like he said, they probably have they have the speaker, and what else you said they have on it?
Well, they use the thermal camera.
Okay,
they have the thermal camera.
They have the thermal version. Okay.
But basically what they did was they got in front of the privacy issue and they said, look, to the public, here's how we intend on using it. Right. Here's how we intend on helping it support a better quality of life. And here's what we'll do in case we have to use it in a criminal case, such as surveillance. We'll have to go and get a warrant beforehand. But, we'll use it at accident scenes. We'll use it to warn people about issues, and we'll use it for life-saving work. But when we come to use it for investigatory work, we'll follow the guidelines that is set forth by the courts. And that's the right way to manage a system. See, if you're on the other side of public safety, say EMS and fire, these are things you don't worry about as much. Although on the EMS and fire side, you do worry about things like HIPAA, patient's healthcare information, because if you're showing them injured or sick, that can be an issue. But we don't have to worry as much about the privacy end of it because we're not seen as, being intrusive. We're being seen as saving your ass.
I'm laughing at what Matt put. He said, I'd use the speaker following the perp saying, I see you.
We've actually seen the speaker. We've seen the speaker in
use here in New York.
Okay, yeah.
But
actually, there are cases of where you come upon a victim, say in a high angle rescue or something like that.
Jack Sparky, thanks for coming in.
You can get the drone up there. You can get the drone up there. Say you have somebody dangling. Now, okay, I'll paint an urban picture for you. You have a worker dangling from a piece of scaffold, or you have a window washer dangling from a rig. And you can get that drone up there quickly with the speaker on it and let them know, hey,
Somebody
hang
coming?
on, of course, right? But help is coming, so you don't react improperly, right? People get so nervous and think nobody's coming, so they'll have to take some irrational act. All right.
Right.
So this way you can get over to them. You can let them know, hey, I'm going to stay with you, even though it's a drone flying there. Hey, I'm going to stay with you. Hold on. We're coming up from the window above you, or we're going to take out the window next to you.
Right.
Just, so, and even in say a rural area or in the wilderness, you have a rock climber that's hooked up and is dangling from a rock face.
Jack Sparky's getting ready to go watch some Godzilla versus Kong. Believe it or
you
not,
can get a drone up there and pay attention. Yeah,
I'll be watching it.
What's going on?
Of course I do. My wife just says, I was going to ask you, are you going to see it? Of course I want to see it. Yes, most definitely.
The drone shot said I tracked a car at night all over with the Aspire 1V2. Yeah, well, that's,
well, listen,
things you can do with a drone, right?
You could keep the officers out of harm's way in those risky situations. You could send a drone in, see what the situation is before you walk into it.
Yeah.
There's so many reasons why drones work in this scenario with the.
I agree tenfold, Stevie.
Yeah.
And a drone is a lot quieter than a helicopter.
And with that infrared,
if I'm dangling from that cliff, send a helicopter.
Yeah. And that goes back to the whole flood story that we just went over. In the past they would have to get two people in a helicopter, right, and send them out.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. You send a drone out. You don't have to worry about all the risk management of getting a helicopter over flooded conditions. You send a drone out.
Right.
Worst case scenario, that drone goes down.
Right.
But I can also send that drone up from a kayak, right, Steve?
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Which I couldn't do. I mean, if I'm on one side of this thicket of brush with my kayak and I'm trying to assess the scene, I can easily put up the drone and see what's on the other side, and then get a little higher and see, do I have a way to get from here to there? But Herman painted the picture about having that helicopter there if you're dangling from that window washer rig. Dude, I don't want a helicopter near me because that downward prop thrust is going to knock me right off of that rig.
That little grip that you had is gone.
Yeah. But look, that's why a drone works in urban situations. That's why a drone works in suburban, and that's why it works in rural. It's a Swiss Army. You know what? A drone is a Swiss Army knife. Yeah, it is, because I can use it visually with the speaker system. Okay, I can project audio.
Yeah.
I have thermal imaging capability across a wider spectrum.
Yeah.
I have environmental sensors that I can equip it with. And of course, we know it can deliver shit.
Right.
Okay. Tell me that's not a Swiss Army knife. All I need is the toothpick and the magnifying glass.
Like going back to the original videos that we were showing earlier, the drone and something like with thermal, you can now find out, if you have people who might be in that house we showed, that people might be trapped on the second floor, scared, they don't know what to do. What do I do?
You see what Bob Casey?
You know what I mean? You can pick up heat signatures.
Yeah, you can pick up if somebody has a fever.
Well, yeah, you can. They do it. I just commented to them. They do it all now.
Yeah.
And it's actually great for crowd control. And in fact, the local precinct right here by me, last July 4th, not pre-COVID July 4th, they this precinct just recently got a drone. And it's funny because the police would ride around. Fireworks are illegal, of course. And, they have these mortars that they launch into the street, from the street. So I actually was watching the drone, watch the people. And what they do is they flew the drone from the roof of the precinct to an area where they were launching mortars repeatedly, but they stayed back. And what happened was the drone watched everything they were doing. And when the people saw the police car come down the block, everyone was like, dum-de-dum-de-dum. And the police car pulled up right to where the guys were chilling out and said, open your trunk. Because the drone was right above them and saw where they were getting the fireworks from.
Mhm.
You know,
What,
But see,
and
what are you gonna
like what
do one
Tom
day?
mentioned about,
hey, Centroid.
how the police would see when they first saw drones, if the police or the fire department first saw drones, or what can we use this for?
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. When they had the issues with the Australia, when they had the fires and all that stuff, the koalas, somebody came up with a software they did for this drone. So they could, distinctify the difference between the heat signature with the koalas that were hiding from whatever might be little smoldering
Right.
flames and stuff like that. So, people have look at how many things have come up with these drones and
Well, Herman,
in the last
you
year.
talk about, well, Herman, when you first bought your first Phantom,
Mhm.
you don't think a cattle rancher did the same damn thing? And
That's
said,
what
wow,
Centroid just put. They've been
many-
doing it with cattle for a while,
yes, how
monitoring
many?
their health, their blood pressure, hydration.
Yeah, we had a
So
story on that.
it's used out here, Stevie, we were talking earlier about wild horses. It's used out here for wild horse migration also, to see
Okay.
where they're moving, to see,
Well, you
there
need
were high
those
incidents
people.
where they were going to euthanize a good number of wild horses because of disease and stuff.
Oh,
And
really?
they were using drones to assess the situation. Again, we keep on coming up with the same thing over and over again.
Drones for good.
Assess,
Yeah.
risk management,
Yep.
life saving, humanitarian. I mean,
Sure,
And cost and
agriculture, commercial,
cost effectiveness.
security. Yeah,
cost effectiveness.
Swiss
Because
Army
you think
knife.
about it, I'm just hypothetically, I don't know what it costs to launch a helicopter, but I'm estimating it's probably anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 to get a helicopter up in the air into an area.
well, we
to
won't say
hover.
it's that much, but I'll tell you this. It's at least 1,000 times more expensive
Mhm.
from a staffing
Mhm.
and liability
Insurance,
standpoint
yep, the insurance.
than to
Yeah.
put up a drone with 2 operators.
It
Okay,
doesn't even have to go as
a
high.
VO and an RPIC. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, when I put up a manned aircraft, I have a crew of
Yep.
a minimum 3 in an
Fuel.
NYPD helicopter. I have fuel. Okay. But more importantly, my maintenance on that aircraft is significantly higher than charging that battery in the drone. Okay. Yeah. Do I have more capability in manned aircraft? Absolutely. Everything has its place. Nobody is saying that a drone is going to supplant a manned aviation program in a large urban area.
Oh, no.
Okay. If I have to follow a perp on, Interstate 15,
Mhm.
traveling across a 40, 50-mile range, honestly, I want a manned aircraft doing that. Okay.
Mhm.
I can get much higher. I can get more visual acuity, all of that. I can carry bigger cameras. Yeah. Large urban areas can afford it. Now think about how many departments, how many public safety departments
And
there are
insurance.
across this country, right? They can't afford manned aviation programs. Even the mid-sized cities have problems.
Everything has
affording
gotten
that.
cut. We used to have a helicopter.
Okay.
We used to have a helicopter based out here at
Well,
the
that was Coast Guard,
Marine
yeah.
Park Bridge. And
Yeah.
now they've taken that out. So anytime you see a police helicopter out over this entire peninsula, they
Mhm.
fly from Brooklyn. Things
Right.
have gotten,
Most of your they all fly
yeah,
from Brooklyn.
You're right.
everything's
It's
gotten
right there,
cut.
though.
Okay, they all
Yeah.
fly from Brooklyn.
It's right there, Lawrence.
Yeah, but look, manned aviation can cover a much wider area, but there's a cost factor, and only large departments can afford it. Okay, but now this has opened up the opportunity for small departments to use it, and finding that it's more effective in certain operations than a manned aircraft would be. You can deploy it quicker, you can get it in tighter. Okay.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's still a tool. Okay. And if the tool gets used inappropriately,
Mhm.
then it becomes a weapon, right? So that's the thing you have to look. We live in a country with a constitution. We have a
Casey
Bill of
says, nice
Rights.
video, Tom.
Okay. Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it, Bob. But we have rights here. We have safeguards here. Let's make sure that these things don't violate those safeguards and that they're used appropriately.
True.
Right.
I have protection against illegal search and seizure. So don't use that drone to illegally search or seize me. Okay? And we'll be good. So put the safeguards in place, and applauds to this department for getting in front of stuff and saying, hey, public, here's what we use them for. Here's what we want to use them for. We want to use them more. And when we use them this way, here's how we'll use them. When we use them that way, we'll go to the courts and get permission first. Because the other thing is, it makes complete sense to go to the courts and get permission, because otherwise, whatever you collect gets thrown out.
Yep.
Okay? Yeah. And it's a discredit to the department. And that could mean you had a legitimate case against someone, but you inappropriately used a tool set, okay, that compromised the case. And now that bad guy walks free. Okay? That's bad. So do things the right way. And this department did. So kudos.
Right.
It was a great demo.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I like that story. And, you know, I, like Tom said, they got out in front of the whole thing with the people and were honest and truthful with the way they want to use it. And this is what they're doing. And plus, because they really want to expand on being able to go further with their program.
Well,
without community support.
It's a great idea because of the fact they're actually telling the people what they're doing. You understand? And that makes the difference. It's like you're flying a drone on everyone on the panel. A few of you in the chat have experienced this. Somebody will come up and say, what the hell are you doing? You know, and unless you show them the screen, they think you're up to no freaking good. You're spying on some girls.
Again, it's approach, right?
Yeah.
It's approach.
Yeah.
It just happened to me out here. We went someplace, and then I put up the drone, and all of a sudden this ATV came at me. You flying over my property? And I went, at no point in time did I fly over. What do you mean? I saw the drone. I said, I stayed over the center median of the road. Meanwhile, I'm in the middle of freaking nowhere. Okay. Yeah. And I said, well, actually I stayed along the center line of the road, which the road is public. And I do hold an FAA Part 107 certification. And I do actually know the state laws regarding aviation and the federal laws. But at no point in time did I fly over your property. And if I do intend to fly over your property, then it will be at a height much higher than I was flying. And I said, and you know, the aircraft is actually protected. It is a registered aircraft. And the guy said, well, should have asked me first. First of all, if I'm in the middle of the desert, where did this guy even come from? Okay.
You will find it. You will find the FPV.
And let me not walk on your property if I don't know you.
Right.
Yes, I was. No, actually, Stevie, no, actually, I wasn't. I was flying the air too.
Because
I was flying the air.
I was flying.
Oh, flying that thing. That thing is an aggressive little beast. It
brings so much attention.
It screams.
I fly this FPV drone in secluded locations just to practice. Mm-hmm. And people come out the woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you said with the ATV. This guy came walking. He was like, hey, you flying that drone? I'm like, yeah. I mean, he was cool. He had a lot of questions. He never, flew a drone or anything. But this thing brings everybody to me. I'm used to flying
it is
the Phantom or the Air 2.
FPV, period.
FPV
because you have that horsepower. And
it's
that's
so
what they
aggressive.
hear.
Yeah.
It's just
and
come to me.
And the pitch is so high.
Yeah.
It just cuts through everything.
And those are 6-cell batteries, correct?
Yeah, think of it as a success. Yeah.
And the reason I'm asking is because I started out with 4-cell. Now 4-cell is you hear when it takes off, but when I put a 6-cell on, it screams.
Right.
Well, first realize when you turn this thing on first, it goes like this. Okay. Even before you fly the damn thing, right? So now I was telling you that I was worried about the thing sitting up in the air because I was using the motion controller and forgot that I had to zero the target in order to land. So I figured I'd do my, Stevie, right? Classic. Reach up, grab her, right? And then you tip her and she'll shut off if you're having trouble with it, right?
Right.
I reached up, I grabbed her, that bitch was going to take me off my feet. She was fighting me. and it's screaming. My wife is looking at me like going, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
You know,
You remember that?
and I was like,
Yeah.
forget it. And you know what? I did one of those. Fuck you, bitch. Special ass, like just in case.
Yeah.
And then stupid me, I go, oh, wait a second. Okay, it's me.
Yeah, I don't
He
have
had a right to yell.
I don't have
Yeah.
that motion controller. So, but I still, I love the fact that I could go zipping all over the place. And when I get that low battery, I bring it in, I pop the goggles on top of my head, and I bring it in like a regular drone.
Yeah,
You know, I just
with the
bring-
regular controller.
just get my eyes on it. And
It's teaching you bad habits.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to convert.
Hey,
I don't know
look.
No,
Our bad
you don't have to
habits.
convert, but the objective is to fly the entire flight with the goggles on. Now, the fact that you have the ability
that might be
to raise
yours.
the
Lawrence-
abilities.
Don't they make that
Lawrence wants me to
Alice?
do those crash landings that he used to do in the beginning.
Hey, did Courtney make it? Did Courtney make it to the chat?
He wants
Oh,
me to
you've
be like
seen a
that guy,
couple, right, Stevie?
like- yeah. He wants me to be like the guy in the Hudson. He wants me to be bouncing on my belly until it slows
Oh
down.
man, that's funny.
Yeah. Well, did you see
Lawrence
Courtney's
said bad habit.
video?
Bad habits.
The bad
Stevie, did
habit.
you see Courtney's
Excuse me
video?
a second. I gotta check something.
See, he's gone. He's gone.
Oh,
Courtney ran into some heartache. That's why I was wondering if Courtney made it to
Oh,
the
yeah.
chat.
Yeah, he lost his bird.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah, but
I
I got
heard
it.
about it. I haven't.
Yeah,
I've
watch
been,
it to the end.
I've been you know how I do with the Facebook. I post stuff. I wait,
And bounce.
I chill for like 10 minutes, maybe show some love.
What's up,
and I
Andy?
bounce for
Yeah.
hours. And then I
Yeah.
might check in like after dinner.
Yeah,
I show some love and everything, maybe post something, and then I'm gone for hours. I do like a 10-minute set
That's
Just
all I can do usually.
because-
yeah.
because
Although I do have to put up another in my series of images.
between work and the family, and they take up all the bulk of the time. And then when they finally go to sleep, that's when I start editing footage if I have the energy, which I haven't had the energy in a couple of days. That's why part 2 of Florida is like, I haven't even started it. You know, I have all this great footage there. I haven't even started it. But like I said, I have to catch up on social media. I heard that he had somebody knocked on the window and
Yes. He actually put the video on line of sight and in 5-barrel, and he says, watch to the very end. You see him zooming. He's doing corkscrews and he's flying, and then he puts on in words and captions, someone bangs on my car window, and it startled him, and that's when his drone went down. And then the next scene is his Mavic 2 carrying the drone back tethered.
You gotta always have a clothes hanger and a little bit of string in your car now, Stevie. So this way you can go rescue your FPV bird if you have to.
I have a lot of things in my truck, so I think I should be able to concoct something.
Yeah, I got a chainsaw. I'm gonna cut down that.
For us, good old fashioned. Well, you also need something to get your drone
top of the car.
Before we get to the next news story, you also need something to get it out of a tree. So I have 250 feet of paracord and a heavy weight.
So Stevie, you know what?
You like
You
that?
know what I'm finding is great? Having the pickup truck with the tonneau cover. That's my takeoff and landing spot, by the way.
So Lawrence, so what do? You sit out there in the park and just with this big lasso and
Yeah,
Dude,
I'm gonna send a chap to the cowboy hat on. Can you picture it?
We need
Giddy
let me
up.
tell you, Justin, at that same spot along the Belt Parkway rest stop, Justin got stuck in a tree, and we had this 2x4, and we're throwing it, and the bird would not come down. I said, wait a minute, I have paracord. We tied the paracord to the actual 2x4, looped it up over the branch, and just shook it 3 times, and she dropped down.
Nice.
But I do have 250 feet of it, though.
If there's any mariners here or ex-Navy guys here, it's called a monkey fist. It's a little piece of lead shot with some line around it called Mullen spike, and you tie a line to it, a messenger line, and you whip it and fling it. That's pretty effective. So, you know, if you get yourself a nice lead sinker, and tie some cord to the end of it.
They actually sell them on Amazon. I forget the exact name of them, but
What's it called? The drone recovery tool?
No, it's actually a weight with a hook on it that you can tie the rope around, and it's round. So no matter what you throw it around, with enough slack, it'll fall down to the ground, and you have 2 lines you can pull.
Oh,
but they actually do sell them.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I'd have to find the name of it.
You could actually make it.
You get
you can make them too.
Painter poles, you know, the ones that you could like they telescope out.
Mm-hmm.
Painter poles are the long ones.
Does no good with a 6-story tree. I'm just saying.
How many trees do you know of that are 6 stories large?
6 stories.
Listen.
Plenty, dude.
Check this
that's
out.
That's not as high as you think it is.
In the park where you're flying at.
Not my park. Not my park. Not my park. But what's the?
In Flushing Meadows, you got a couple.
Yeah.
Not by the airfield. Not in the airfield.
Not near the airfield.
The ones by the airfield are. There's one that's 47 feet. I know for sure.
Yeah. See, Ed knows weight up and over the branch. Yank.
Yeah.
It's true. They call them tree shakers, because once you get it up there, the whole tree is doing a wiggle until you get it out of there.
You get one of these 100-year-old trees like they got over in Prospect Park and watch you hang from that. It ain't moving.
Yeah, that's true.
That branch ain't moving.
That's true.
The Tony Montana chainsaw.
You can shake the tree trunk. The tree is gonna be like.
Oh, it's not power cord, it's paracord. It's show. It's the actual parachute, the lines that they have on the parachutes.
See, they make the bracelets out of them.
Yeah.
Okay, the survival bracelets.
That thing handles a lot of weight.
So you see all these people wear these survival bracelets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They'd have no clue what to do with that if they had to actually use it. Okay.
Right.
So it's more of a fashion item. But yeah, it is actually, it's named a monkey fist. It's a nautical monkey fist knot. It goes around the weight, and you can get them with a little carabiner on them. You can use them as a keychain, get them with a little carabiner on it, and then when you have to deploy it for your drone rescue.
Paracord.
Okay. Now that looks like one big knot of paracord.
Well,
there.
right now,
So
it's a semi knot, but 200 feet of it is clear. From the last tree that I used, but you get 250 feet.
How you roll that
because if you have to cut it
in one big ball and you throw it into a backpack.
Down in the bag.
Actually, what you do is grab one loose end and throw the backpack.
That looks totally scary.
No, I've had to use it. It actually does work, though. It really does work.
So you got
paracord. You don't have to worry about it snapping. I have scuba gear gun. I'm retrofitting to retrieve drones from trees.
Spear gun. Wow. Spear gun.
That's extra.
So then when you
I'm
get
thinking about in the Navy when we had underway
Angie.
replenishment, they basically had a shotgun, with this messenger line in it, and they'd shoot it across to the other ship and then pull the rigging lines across. Yeah, I can see you in Flushing Meadows with a shotgun. Yeah, good. That'll last 5 minutes. That'll be a news story.
Oh yeah.
So Tom and Steve, you guys is flying this FPV drone with DJI. Now DJI has these V2 goggles. That's with the new setup.
Yeah, baby.
I brought this to Tom's attention. There was an article in Drone DJ where they were talking about those same goggles. We now heard about a new drone. We saw the FCC filing for this new drone that DJI is supposed to be coming out with. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently from what the guys over at Drone DJ are saying is that they understand that the goggles, the V2 goggles, will be working with the new drone.
Yeah, I heard.
Because the Mavic Air 2S reportedly will leverage O3.
Yes.
Known as OcuSync 3.
Yes.
And from someone who owns a Mavic Air 2 and owns the FPV drone and is able to fly the FPV drone with the goggles. And Stevie, I don't know about you, but as a photographer, being inside or immersed in that is where I want to be when
Yeah.
I'm pressing a shutter or capturing B-roll. I want to be in the scene. So
How cool would that be
yes,
that we don't have to worry about these shades? You know, the shades are never enough. I mean, we get them and they make a difference.
even a smart controller, right? It's bright. But I gotta look down at it. I even have a little shade on my freaking smart controller. Okay.
You know,
so
nobody beats Herman's shade. The first time I met Herman,
you're talking
he
about
had
the
a
shade that
shade,
grew
a
another shade.
Telescopic joint.
it was like 3 feet long. Like he didn't have to put his arms up.
That shade's a dependent on his taxes.
No, but his arms
Okay.
are in the perfect. His arms are in the perfect position. He's focused on his shot. He don't have to lean too much. It's like all the way up. It's extended.
It's true.
over.
The shade is like about this high up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
This
your
thing is an
lanyard-
appendage off
On
of
your
his head.
lanyard, it rests around stomach height.
he
So
totally
he
ignores
just tilts his head down like this, and he's in.
No, he knows. He knows.
in the cut, and
Right there, just like that.
he's in his shade.
Got the controller, the shades like this, and I'm
Where
sitting
is that
just like
shade,
this.
man?
Yeah,
Can't fit
that's
the
true.
shade is in another room.
What
Can't be in
that shade
room.
has its own bedroom. Yeah.
You know, listen, over
Man,
at
Look,
Calvert
look,
Box,
Herman. I'm right there.
What's the
with
big
you, buddy.
difference
I
between
know.
OcuSync 2 and OcuSync 3? More range?
Yeah.
I
the
don't
latency
feel-
actually,
they cut
actually,
latency.
it is a very discrete frequency usage. It's a much longer range. So think about it. With OcuSync 2, we were around the 7-kilometer range. Okay. Well, actually 7-mile range. And with OcuSync 3, actually you're up to about 10 miles in range.
Yeah,
So,
I just
and
put
now
that
where
in
it
the
becomes
chat,
even more
that the range
so-
is more
so
solid
look,
over distance.
Well,
yeah,
you know
but it's
what?
also more solid in dense areas also.
Mhm.
Okay. So that is something that is very, very important, especially to the urban flyer, right? Okay, or when you're operating in a more dense environment, it's a lot more persistent in the signal coverage.
It is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. You're doing 60 plus. You're far away. You got trees. I had trees all around me where I practice at. Trees are all around me. So I'm basically in a parking lot surrounded by trees with a little driveway that goes into the little.
Quick question. Do you have the standard version goggles, or do you have the patch attachment? Because I noticed a lot of people.
Okay, wait.
The
There's
goggles.
a mistake there. Okay, so here's the problem with that, right? If you have the patch ones, right, you're either getting 5.8s or 2.4s. Remember, on the V2 goggles now,
Right.
these are both frequencies. So be very, very careful if you're buying aftermarket, like the shorties.
Yeah.
Be careful because they have to be dual frequency. If they're not, you're going to screw yourself over. Okay.
Right.
I wouldn't
So
mess
you got to be careful. If you see like Eddie, I believe has
V1s,
those,
right?
those are the V1s.
I'm not sure. Eddie is in the chat.
No, but Eddie should be in the
has
chat.
both.
Eddie just picked up a DJI FPV.
Yeah, but when I saw him before I went to Florida, I believe he had the V1. He was telling me at the V2s, the V1s worked better with his
other drones,
with the homemade drones. Yes,
like the Chimera he was flying.
And
that
he was I guess the FPV drone was on his way because I think he put up the picture. I was in Florida. Yeah, because he originally purchased it and then canceled the purchase.
Is OcuSync hardware dependent on software?
No, it's not dependent upon software. Hardware is a foundational item, right?
Well, the reason
you could leverage software, and make it more extensible, but no, the dependency would be more on the hardware before it would be on the software.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking is because I know a lot of guys with the V1, they have the stubbies on top. They have the stubbies on top, and then they have a third-party patch that they're using. And I have not seen anyone with the DJI Bird with the patch system yet.
No,
four-way stubbies.
It's not available.
Four stubbies on the ends.
Yeah.
I agree, Mike. I agree.
Yeah, you can get them as 5/8, or you can get them as 2/4. I'm not getting any interference. Okay.
Okay.
You know, I did.
But have you gone between around objects?
Yes,
Objects
I've gone on
between
the other
you?
side of a mountain ridge. Okay.
Okay.
So what happened was I knew I was losing signal because there's a setting on it. If you dive into your menus and explore this thing, there's a setting that you'll start to lose peripheral focus around stuff that only the center of the screen will give you a clear image. And that means you're losing your signal.
Right. Okay.
So
you get a tunnel
it's great
vision.
to have that.
It's
right.
like a tunnel vision.
It's tunnel vision. And that is great because I can go, oh shit, I'm getting too far. Okay, now bring myself out of there.
Yeah.
Well, see, that seems.
I did lose signal once. Again, I went too far into a ridge and around. And, you know, I was immersed. So I'm just going in. I didn't realize, man, I'm on the other side of a freaking mountain. Okay. My big fear there was it going, oh, you set me at 300 return to home. And the mountain's 1,600 feet tall. So, but the nice thing about it is it's got front sensors. So the second it lost signal, it put itself into normal mode. Okay. Now, when it loses signal on your side of the fence, what's that called? Fail safe. But for me, it put it into a return to home, but it controlled its flight. And before I knew it, all of a sudden I had a signal back.
Right.
Okay.
Well, see,
And
you know
right
what?
away, I hit the pause button. I took it out of return to home and I took over control.
Well, what I wanted to
So-
mention was the issue that a lot of people were having with V1 goggles are, unlike FPV, if there's interference, you'll either get snow or the picture will slowly get snowier and snowier. Whereas with the V1 goggles, if you lost signal, your picture locked up and froze. But from what I'm hearing, and I haven't experienced it myself because I don't have one, but these DJI drone, this OcuSync 3, from what I understand, like Tom says, the signal does not freeze up. It gives you tunnel vision.
See, Eddie's
Yeah, so Eddie said he's got the V1s and the V2s. On the V1s,
So I was
he's got
correct.
the AX2
Yeah.
patch
So V1,
And
the
the Omni patch
antennas.
antennas. Okay.
And the V2s he's leaving stock.
see, that's what I understood because he had the custom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we went to Florida, he didn't even have the FPV drone yet for the DJI
Right,
system.
right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I was correct on that. But yeah,
So when you say, look, on the analog side, you'll get snow, and that's, you know, look, I'm going to travel twice the distance you will with your analog system before getting snow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Crossfire and a lot of other things out there. Yeah, that can come close to competing, but I don't think they fully compete with O3 at this point.
Right
so you
now,
gotta
I don't think
that's-
there's a whole lot that compete with OcuSync 3.
No. And look,
When you increase the distance,
I'm
and
sorry to say,
separation-
man, Herman, they're going to be taking more money out of my pocket again. Herman, you looking for a nice Mavic Air 2, bro?
This one, no.
Are you looking for like a
What?
really nice
Oh no, this
Mavic Air
the
2?
No. Then that new one that's coming, I'm jumping on that.
Stevie, I'm going to have to jump on the 2S.
Matt,
yeah.
and you
Yeah.
talk about the
No.
goggles.
They
But
said
you know what?
a 1-inch
You
sensor
know,
on a
I
body.
flew the
of a
Phantom
deer.
with goggles.
Well, okay, so we got to wait to see if that materializes, right? It's definitely my wish list.
I heard
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, Stevie.
listen,
I just
heard-
hope it's not a 1/1.7,
Mm.
like they're just tickling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
heard in a conversation from somebody
I
that
know.
supposedly is test running it or whatever it is, that it is a 1-inch.
I have a
I'm not
friend
sure.
who has
I'm
a
not-
friend.
Yeah, it's like a bird.
Yeah,
And he
friend.
dropped
Yeah.
a note, and the note landed.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you gonna make me harass people.
if
And we know the same person, Stevie, by the way.
if
So
it's a 1-inch sensor, right? A 1-inch
Yeah.
sensor will sell. I will buy it off the bat, right off the bat, because the Air 2 right now, the one that I have,
Mhm.
it goes with me everywhere. It's so
yeah, everywhere.
And I'm
That
gonna
thing
tell you
is-
something. I got the FPV drone, I got the Air 2, right? And I got the Phantom and all that stuff, the Pro and everything. But the thing is, in one backpack, and not a ridiculous size backpack, I could fit my FPV drone with the 3 batteries and everything, the goggles and everything, my Air 2 with all 4 batteries and everything that I need to fly, you know, an extra phone and all the other stuff in one little bag the size of a backpack you would go to school in junior high school. You know what I mean? Like that size. That's incredible. That's incredible for a person that started with the Phantom line and all that stuff.
Right.
I'm in heaven right now.
Yeah, and that's it. The transportability
bag, and I have both drones. I have the ability to switch it up depending on what I want to do that day. I love it. I love it. So if they do an Air 2S, I mean, obviously they're going to do it. When they do the Air 2S, and if they do that size body, a beautiful, perfect size,
Stevie,
and then put a 1-inch sensor, 03, I have the possibility of using my goggles. And I heard that they're trying to figure out how to get the motion sensor, a motion controller
to work with it.
That's in the works as well. But whatever the case may be,
picking up bad habits, guys.
No.
You want to be a fighter jet? Listen,
bad habits are relative.
This is with the new drone, Lawrence.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk about the new drone.
The new one.
Yeah, but is it going to be the camera drone platform? Because it definitely doesn't sound
camera
like
drone.
It doesn't sound like it's going to be an FPV bird.
No, it's not going to be an
FPV.
No,
it's a camera drone.
It's an Air 2S.
It's the new Air.
It's the new Air 2S.
No, I understand that, but my problem is guys are barely flying this FPV drone with the yoke stick in FPV. Now you're going to take a camera drone and give them a single controller.
But
you know who it's a problem for?
More safety.
You know who it's a problem for, Lawrence?
Who?
You, Lawrence. Not me. Not Stevie. It's a problem for you. You'll get over it eventually. It's okay.
Listen, we was all ready to jump on Scott's idea with that one hand.
That's true.
Stick.
You're right, Herman.
Hey. You want to buy one? I got one for sale.
No, I'm good. I see what happens with the Phantoms with that.
Now, if you show the size comparison, Tom, for those
I have it on the library program right now. Big John has it. Okay.
I see what happened with
it's like on a 6-month loan program. Whoever wants to touch that thing, let Big John know. He's taking calls. But look, it makes complete sense. Especially, man, Stevie, I'm flying out here in the desert. Flying with those goggles, man, I see everything. Flying with the smart controller, I'm like, man, what does that say?
I know.
You want to know what? I'm going to tell you, you are right about that, Tom. By putting the goggles on, not only are you fully immersed and you don't need a sunshade, but you can see things that you cannot see on that tablet.
Sure.
Or looking
down. Yeah. But you also have to know what to look at and what to pay attention to, right? And that's why I'm not always a big fan of their interfaces. I think they could go a lot smarter by going more of a heads-up type display and give me my speed and everything right here. My eyes are right here. Don't keep making me look at the top edge and the bottom edge. I'm looking here. So give me my speed and altitude. Just like yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem there.
Okay.
But if I'm in a fighter jet, I want to be looking right here, and I want everything right here. Okay.
True.
So I think they could make it a lot smarter. Now, when you look at the commercial side of the fence, we do have better interfaces on the other side. Okay. So it's completely possible for this side. Okay. I mean, DJI, I think that's going to be something that comes sooner than later also. Is a cleaner interface.
With this setup here, I flew the Phantom by plugging in the goggles into the HDMI slot.
Yes.
Now, everything that comes up on the screen on your display is now in the goggles when I'm flying. So that was fun to do when I did that. That's when I did the one out in Cold Spring Harbor. I flew that with the goggles.
But let me tell you, so Herman, you know I've had the goggles, the originals. I've flown with the Maverios, the BT300s. Okay. I still own
I agree, Show. Heads-up display would be nice.
Okay. But I got to tell you, man, the goggles blow, these V2 goggles blow the other stuff out of the water.
Oh yeah.
It even blows my ultra brights out of the water. Okay. It's a simple setup. Turn on a battery. I'm in business. Okay. They sit on the top of my head till I'm ready. Once they drop in place, I'm in there. I'm in the cockpit of that bird. Okay. And as a photographer, that's where I want to be. The other nice thing is, Stevie, with this, with the controller, is you get a little circle target that wherever you're pointing this controller at, that's where that circle target is going. So if you're trying to shoot a gap,
okay,
it actually takes,
or
maybe it gives me false confidence. I don't know, but I'm more likely to shoot that gap because of it.
You know, Billy offered to link it to my drone, to my drone, the motion controller. Yeah. And mine was already packed up. So he was already flying with the motion control. He was like, oh, forget that. He just gave me his goggles and his motion controller, and I flew his drone with the motion controller. And I was, I went really high because I didn't want to hit anything. I didn't want to crash Billy's drone. And then I started doing, it was impressive. He sold it on me, but I think the next purchase will be maybe 2 more batteries. And then maybe a motion controller.
I thought you already had the.
Welcome to the true world of FPV.
I bought the combo of the Fly More kit, and I bought the drone.
You want more batteries?
But I'm thinking about getting another 2 batteries.
Herman, it's a classic. So here's the thing. My wife even says, "You bringing it in already?" Because she's used to the camera drone. Well, I'll be out there for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. The nice thing about this also is it tells you how much time you got left flying the way you're flying. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I got to be honest with you, man. I don't think I've hit 15 minutes. Okay, on the battery.
Damn, you're dogging it.
You having so much fun. It's that you're having so much fun. The time just flies.
You're not. Come on. If you're hitting more than 15 minutes, go back to flying your camera drones. Okay. I'm just saying. Come on, man.
I agree, Tom.
I'm gonna be the guy with the DJI FPV drone out there.
Let's go.
Angie says 5 batteries is enough, but you have to understand, Angie.
5 batteries.
A 6-cell. What does it promise to give you? What is the time that they promise?
20 something minutes in
27 minutes.
20 something miles an hour.
Okay, right.
That's straight flight.
That's at camera drone speed. But once you learn how to fly an FPV bird, you're all over the place. Because you get there so quick. First of all, you're I'm going to go to the end of the park. And then the end of the park is there, and you say, "The hell with that! I'm going past."
The spec is at 24 miles an hour, flying in a straight line.
Yeah, that is expensive, night train.
With no wind. Okay. Now, when you're flying 60 miles an hour, okay, into the wind, believe me, a third of the flight time, yeah, you might be there. I'm impressed.
I agree.
That at the crap I'm doing with this thing, that I'm getting as much as 15 minutes. I'm kind of thrilled at that because, to be honest with you, you step into the FPV world and a 4 or 5 minute flight is a long event.
Listen,
okay?
I'm going to say it quickly. You know the Croton Point Park that we usually chase boats? Me and you, Tom, we go out there. We've been out there.
Yeah.
I saw a boat and I saw my battery had one light off, right? Like it just had the
at 3/4.
And I was like, I could get busy with this. I'm so used to the air too. I flew out for that one boat, and usually I do a bunch of different shots. I got to the boat, did a little something, I had to come back. It gave me the warning that the battery was low. It was done. Like I didn't even get
well, see, that's the thing. You eat it up quick.
Just flying over there.
Learn battery management flying FPV. You have to learn battery management flying FPV, because if you do not, you will lose your shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, battery management is key, regardless of what you fly, right? Yeah. How many people have made it out in sports mode to their target, their target focus, and then realized they didn't have enough to get back.
We got one more story.
Well, I don't know. Should you, or I don't know if you want to force it or maybe carry it over for next show.
What, till Sunday?
Yeah. Yeah, we got what? We got 12 minutes here.
Let it marinate.
And for you guys, I know what Lawrence, man, your stomach has to be rumbling.
Lawrence is liable to come
I'm
up with
good. Dinner's ready.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
good.
go watch. I'm drinking a brewski. I'm gonna go watch King Kong versus Godzilla and
There
get
you
my
go.
munch on.
Did you watch that other movie yet, Lawrence? The Justice League?
No,
Oh.
no.
And
You see, in order to watch Justice League, I have to get up 7 in the morning.
No,
and start 10.
stop. You can watch it now.
No, I can't. I don't watch a movie and stop. I
Oh,
may
you can
pause
watch
it
the
to
whole
go to the
thing now.
bathroom. I may pause it.
Why?
To go to the
What's he
bathroom
saying?
or
It's too
whatever.
long for his
Yeah,
attention
It's 4
span?
hours, Tom. It's 4 hours.
Too long for your attention span? So you never watched Lord of the Rings then, huh?
Yeah. Those are 3 and
Did
change.
you ever watch The Godfather? The whole thing.
The whole series?
Like, one behind the other.
Hey Herman, my wife did that as punishment to my
I
son.
sat here and did that.
Hold on.
That was
Hold
good.
on, Herman. My wife did that to my son as punishment. I went to work one day and I came and he said, Dad, don't ever leave me with her again. I was like, what's wrong? He's like, I did something and she made me watch The Godfather. All 3 of them.
Well,
And then
the
I went to
third
take a
one was
nap and I
little
found a
crazy.
horse head in my bed.
The third one's a little crazy, but
Hey, what's
I can
the
sit there and
latest
watch the
deal?
first 2.
Disney Plus makes you pay a monthly fee, and now they put up 2 movies and they want $29 for
Really?
you to watch a damn movie.
Listen.
I mean, come
HBO
on,
Max
now.
is where it is right now. $15 a
At
month.
least give me a reach around, will you? Come
You
on.
know what? I can send you a link for your Fire Stick program, and you don't have to pay for either one or 2 of them.
Well, the views and opinions. Okay, I'm just getting a spam call. It's only 2 numbers.
Views and opinions that
My-
are heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel tonight and or in the chat. Got it out.
None of us are involved in any illegal activities here. Okay, I'm an altar.
What
boy,
happened?
by the way.
Illegal activity. It's not illegal.
No, I'm an altar boy. By the way.
They're on the Fire Stick.
It's on the fire. It works on the Fire Stick.
They're on the Fire Stick.
Yes.
There are apps that are on the Fire Stick.
Yes, they
That's
are.
good.
You just have to know how to activate them and know how to
Access the
download
app.
the driver.
It's open source.
No, it's on the Fire Stick.
Yes.
So, Stevie,
yes.
to change subjects real quick. Hey, Stevie, have you connected a mobile device to the goggles to let the family watch what you're flying? Or
No.
I've seen
You know
that.
what?
A cable coming
it works
from the
well.
HDMI.
It works well.
Billy was explaining to me that you can't record and watch it on the phone, right, Eddie? Eddie's in the chat.
Well, you can't
we were all
record to the
together-
goggles.
He
Mhm.
said,
You
"I
can
can't
record."
and he said if you record, the monitor on the phone would cut off.
If you record on the goggles.
That's what it is?
Yes, you're still recording. Remember, you can
What's
record at
happening?
2 locations.
What's happening?
So
I'm
you-
lost there, Tom.
No, there's a
They're
connection to
solving
the
that
goggles
problem.
that you could connect a phone or an iPad or something, and as long as you have the app, you could watch as I fly around. You can stand
Yes.
to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen people tethered to people's goggles.
Exactly.
Yes.
HDMI.
Yeah.
What
I have
Billy was
seen that.
telling me was he can't record because once he records, it'll cut off our screen.
Here's what I found. I've recorded from the aircraft, but
Mhm.
not recording on the card in the goggles when the mobile device is connected.
So
If I try to record to the goggles,
Mhm.
the external device will cut out.
JSK HBO Max. It's premiering today. Today's the first day that it comes out.
yeah.
And unlike Disney,
Hey, did you think
they're
King
not
Kong
charging
was
you
that
$30 to watch a movie.
I always thought Godzilla was
I have
2 to
this.
3 times the size of King
Dude,
Kong.
I grew up
Okay.
during that
It
time.
was supposed to be.
Wait,
big.
dude, the 2 twins and Mothra. Come on, now.
Yeah, you remember
Okay.
all of that.
Dude. I look. That was always. We went to the movies, and we got 2 Godzilla films and a bunch of cartoons in the middle. Okay, those were the days. Your
See,
parents would
Welsh
kick
Rob
you out of
says
the
you
house
can
and
watch
not
them
see
on the
you for
Fire
12
Stick,
hours.
That was a long time ago
There you
there,
go.
Tom. I remember when they
I know,
used to get
dude.
the double features.
Everything,
Kung
you
Fu,
know what, Herman? The sad part is everything was a long time
all those
ago.
theaters over there on Times Square down by New Amsterdam.
Well, we had the Lowe's in Astoria on Steinway Street.
Mhm.
I remember as a kid, that place was so ornate. And you would have to go up this big sweeping velvet staircase to get up. There were like 2 balconies.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now,
Of course, one of them was for makeout sessions, but
okay.
okay. But that was a whole day, dude. Thinking back, our parents kind of had it made because like they kick us out the door. We didn't have, all this electronic shit. So they kick you out of the door in the morning and you had to be home by the time the street lights came on.
Hey, Tom.
Okay.
You want to hear something? My mother worked, you know where five towns is. My mother, it used to be Mays department store.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now they had a mini mall there. Now, because she didn't have a babysitter, what she would do is she would give me $5. Now, the movie theater was 99 cents. They played 3 2-hour movies. Okay. I would watch the 3 2-hour movies, go to the pizza shop, get 2 slices of pizza and a large soda, and still have quarters left for the arcade. And by the time I finished that, my mother's 8-hour shift was over, and I'd go into the store and she'd be ready to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were given, my brother and I were given $1 to go to the boys club to go swimming and hang out, right? And there was no charge to get in the boys club. We were members. But the $1 was for each of us to get on the bus to go there. It was 24 blocks away. Okay. But my older brother would go, screw that, we're walking because we're pocketing the 50 cents. Gave us 50 cents for pizza. We're doubling that up. We're getting ice cream today. Okay. And usually that was good because you ate on the way there. It was that trip coming home. I go, I can't walk any further. Like there was no money incentive. There was no carrot in front because we were short-sighted. We spent it all up front.
Now, am I being old by saying I remember the 50-cent slice?
No.
Okay.
I'm telling you, dude, with $5, I would go. It was actually a $1 deal because for $1, you got 2 slices and they threw in the soda. And the soda back then was a 20-ounce.
Dude, we're getting a deal.
Slices in Times Square.
Well, we get a deal over Metro Tech.
You remember Times Square after the movies, 1 a.m. in the morning? Everybody went to the gyro joint.
Those pizzas only taste good if you smash.
If you're drunk.
Yeah.
No,
the cardboard pizza.
Yeah, cardboard with ketchup.
Now that cheap pizza tastes terrible, but back in the day, a slice was 50 cents when I was a kid in elementary.
A real slice, and they were this big. They were this big. They weren't narrow little triangles like this. They were like
Hey,
this.
Stevie, we went to a place out here called New York's Famous Pizza. Let me tell you what it's not. New York's Famous Pizza.
Oh, it's funny. They always do that. I always
People
notice.
Always seem to do that.
When you go to
award-winning, best in Vegas. Blah, blah,
I had that upstate New York.
Yeah, they got that.
And the wife asked, did they give themselves an award? Because
listen, you can't make New York pizza and bagels without the water, so stop trying it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I gotta say, wait. Now I gotta say, there's a chain of bagel places out here. In fact, there was one in Metro Tech, and we were heartbroken when it left. Einstein Bagels. Okay, there's a couple of them out here. They make a really nice bagel. Is it a New York bagel? No, it's not a New York bagel. Okay, but boy, do they make some good bagels. So I got to give it to them. But I'll tell you, things they have, the food out here. We hit a Greek place the other day. Man, it was over the top. Okay, from the lemon soup to the gyro to the pistachio and hummus. Man,
you have to be weary, Tom, when you're in Virginia and you see a Ray's Famous Pizza.
But but how many different? First off, there are 14 different Ray's pizzas, not a chain of Ray's pizzas.
I know.
In New York, everybody is Ray's Famous Pizza.
Thanks, Mike, for coming in.
I
mean, Ray's Famous Pizza, there's only 2 spots that can claim that title. And both of them, man, that's a freaking meal and a half when you're done. But then we got places like Rizzo's.
No Ray's Pizza.
Brooklyn got.
Well, we have a place in Astoria that's been there for since the dawn of time. Rizzo's.
Yes, I know Rizzo's.
And Rizzo's is an upside down pizza, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
the crust, right? L&B's, baby.
Mhm.
I mean, you can find 14 sanitation trucks and 5 cop cars all lined up at the
Couple of
same time.
MTA
And there's nothing
buses
going
as
on.
well.
Let me get a sheet or a half sheet.
Yeah.
Get a
There's a
sheet
lot
or a half sheet.
Right. And don't
Loaded with
don't-
pizza shops.
be indecisive either.
Yeah, you got.
Okay.
Come on, man, you're holding the line.
Well, it's almost like Stevie. It's almost like getting Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah, you got to know
Okay.
how to order it.
If you don't order, he'll tell you hit the
gotta
fucking
step
road.
up.
That's what Billy Kyle told us the first time he took us to the cheesesteak joint. He says we went to Pat's, which Pat's was the first original cheesesteak.
It's with
and
it's
he
with
said with or
with-
without. If you
That's
don't,
it, man.
he said if you don't order it right, the guy's gonna ignore you, and you might have
the
to.
lady in
hold it
front of
back
me
a lot.
said, "Can I have lettuce and tomatoes on that?"
Oh no.
And the
come
guy
on.
said
blew
to
that.
her, the guy said, "Not in this state." Next.
Yep, that's what they do,
Okay.
Stevie. Billy Kyle told all of us, there was like maybe 8 or 9 of us, and he said you have to order with or without, and
With-
if you mess up your order, he will go on
Cheese
to the next
whiz
person.
or without cheese whiz.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, with or
But
without.
boy, we were making noises, man.
You need to know what you're gonna eat and the
Yeah,
place.
but you know what, Stevie? That's you eat at Pat's, you sit in the car and roll up the windows because people are thinking you're having an orgasm, man. You know, you take a bite. Oh man, that is freaking delicious, dude.
Now
Shut
these
the car up,
spots,
it sound like you got an electric car or humming.
Tom, those restaurants you hit in, are they on the strip? Because when I was in Vegas
No, dude.
a few
no,
times,
no,
I
no.
only ate like, in and out of these. I was at the Venetian, a couple of the restaurants in and out of the main street.
Yeah.
I had some
No.
really good steaks.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can have good steaks. You can have a good
It's not
steak
hard
at
to get.
Outback's.
Yeah,
out here,
yeah,
but,
exactly.
Eddie?
but the thing is,
Uh,
no, we're not. I'll tell you, the only time we'll go to the strip, Stevie, is if we have to meet a relative and they want to see the strip. Otherwise,
You stay
we're hitting all the local joints. Except there is a really good place not far from the strip called Hot Bra House. And you'll actually see the beer too. They sell the beer all over the world. But that's a bra house. That's a real German place.
Good night, Mike.
Okay. That place is off the hook. But be careful when you ask for a shot there.
Good night, Mike.
You're going to get also a shot with a paddle from the waitress with the big bustier on. So, you guys want to do shots, just be careful. It comes with a surprise package.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's that time,
But sour
guys.
braten and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
know.
that, all good stuff.
TV.
Oh yeah, other show.
On the strip, the Bellagio has that seafood buffet.
Right.
If you're interested in
Well,
those-
that's a problem out here with buffets right now, guys, because
it's
all buffets are closed.
right.
Now, I want to see what they do when they come back because they're probably going to be serving you.
Yeah.
What happens to all those people who
Well-
want to balance 3 plates with like 100 crab legs?
Well,
on them?
that's-
like
that's-
they'll never be able to go
Texas
back.
Roadhouse.
Hold on, that's
Okay,
not really an issue
please.
because I went to they do that at the with that Golden Corral. It was buffet style, and now they have people who will serve you when you come to that section. The person, is
Yeah,
getting up.
thank God they even make you wear shoes now at Golden Corral. Okay, but yeah, I mean the civility, you love that one, Urban, right? Okay, the civility at the buffet, I'm hoping gets reinvigorated because
Have you guys
you
ever
have the
been to
people.
Golden Corral?
Yeah, I've been.
Lawrence, have you ever been there, Stevie?
Yeah.
No,
You
no.
You know,
got
that's what
some
I'm
people
talking
that come in there look like they're there on a business meeting. They came there to do business.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they have a hatred for food, and
They
they
get
gotta
in there
get rid
early,
of it.
Stevie. They're getting in there early, Stevie.
They planned
And
their whole
they-
week around it.
Man,
Hey,
they're setting up
Stevie,
a
Welsh
tent.
Rob says he sent you the link.
Okay.
Okay.
But you know what? I think they're gonna have to make some changes on the buffet stuff. You know what always
Night
used to
Train,
get
what
me
you know
was the
about
people.
Old Country Buffet? They had one
Okay.
out on Long Island.
Well, Old Country Buffet runs the gambit also. Yeah, out on Long Island. You're better off going to the Chinese buffet across the road, but hands down, so much better.
I love that.
Old Country Buffet can get very old real quick. Okay,
Mhm.
You
when
know
the
what?
gravy starts to get crusty.
My favorite Chinese food was in Boston.
Chocolate milk from
Chinatown
a
in
bag. Ill.
Boston
know.
makes some.
I don't. Yeah, the Chinese food in Chinatown in Boston.
Yeah, they have that a lot of places, Lauren.
Freaking good. They had this big tray that was in the center of the table, and I was there with my crew. And they spin the table. I mean, spin the tray. So that like rice, you put the rice and then you switch it up, and then your main course, like if it's the chicken and broccoli, whatever, will be on your plate. But then they have all the other stuff on this spinning.
Well, we have Stevie out here too.
I mean, they can't do that anymore, but this is before COVID, of course. But
yeah.
So I'm married to a Filipina, and believe me, all her relatives are looking for the bargain. They can move into a buffet and not leave for days. Okay, but man, oh man. They go to this they go to this dim sum place, and that's exactly what it is, Stevie. It's all family style. You can order an entree, but everything you can imagine, from sesame noodles to wontons,
but they bring out platters.
Everything's in the center. They come over with a cart. Okay, and each cart has different stuff, and they just like ladle stuff into the middle section. Like, ooh, what is that? What is that? And it's a big lazy Susan. So no matter where you're sitting at the table, you have access to it.
Yeah, you can just spin.
All right, we got to seriously get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we got it.
Well, I'm getting hungry now, guys.
Remember, popping off.
Remember,
time, and,
I'm going for the blue light.
guys.
See, I really feel like a senior because I'm going to go have dinner now. Now you guys are going, 7:00. No, it's 4:00 out here. Okay. But with that, guess what, Herman? I get the senior discount too. So, can't complain.
Well,
it helps me pay for those damn DJI batteries, Steve.
hear me, Tom? Don't worry about it. Lawrence will get there soon.
Oh, he's right on the doorstep, man. He's kicking the door open.
I'm ignoring all of y'all right about now.
Okay, he's trying to. Okay.
Yeah, guys, man, let's wrap this one up. And I thank you guys for hanging out tonight. We had a fun night here.
Thank you for the support.
The panel.
Always a lot.
Thank you, everyone
guys.
in the chat. Thank you guys for coming by and stopping and hanging out with us. We appreciate you all
Hit that
out
thumbs
there.
up button on your way out.
Don't forget on Sunday, we got a little something extra for you. We got a flying taxi that beats Lawrence's E-Hang, whether he wants to believe it or not.
Man.
But
I've been nice.
I got to trade some stuff.
I've been nice about it. I haven't mentioned E-Hang for a minute.
See, Herman, you got him to mention
one
E-Hang.
episode. One episode.
You got him to mention E-Hang just now.
But we got a little something for you on Sunday. Easter Sunday, right? Wow, Easter Sunday.
Send that royalty check.
But we appreciate you all. Please continue to support Wednesday nights and Sunday nights with those guys.
Yes. Feel free to see us back here again on next week, Wednesday. And don't forget on Novice Quads on Sunday, same time, 5:00 p.m.
I'm coming.
We'll be there. What happened?
Okay, guys, everybody
stay safe. Starting a movie with or without you.
Okay. So everybody in the chat, thank you for stopping by. And I'll see you next time on Phantom Flight 101 with those guys.